Sneaky three little nullifies in there. I see what you're trying to do.
I see a live.
Oh yeah, you got it. Okay.
Yeah. I think
what? What about nullifies?
We are live. We are live.
Hey.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Do you want to make a post, or let me make a post?
Oh yeah, if you want to, yeah, I guess a quick post. Just be like, hey, we're starting. We're real.
I'll ping it, fan server.
Oh, nice.
Watch Eric cry.
I mean, I can change.
That's why the camera's off.
The little picture at the bottom.
That's why the camera's off.
Fine.
Nice.
We'll do it like this. According to WillK, yeah, this is your chance to watch Eric L. cry.
I swear we know how to make decks. I swear we do. All right. Well, I guess we should start with good old hello. Welcome to the most professional tournament set up in like approximately 24 hours, but suddenly a whole bunch of people said yeah, they'd love to play their own decks.
Most
Right?
professional setup in Chrono Walker history.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Okay, boom. We'll publish it around. Pop, pop. See, I get to publish to a whole bunch of different places.
Yeah.
Because I'm cool like that.
Magic.
Yup. And then I put that in here. So for everybody who's watching the beginning of this, our apologies for this being a little bit kind of weird and set up, but it's just like every other time you've ever seen a live stream, except we know that everybody's mics are on. No, hey, you're on mute. It's the best I've got. But okay.
That's pretty good.
We're all, at least as far as I'm concerned, I'm out in the Discord, so we're gonna see who shows up.
Sweet. So yeah, I guess if this is unfamiliar, what exactly this is, we just kind of wanted to generate some, buzz and energy. Energy is a good word for the not energy reduction, energy for the championship coming up, and just have like some matches with like some of the decks that did awesome finishes. And so we put up a bracket and then just kind of reached out haphazardly, asked players if they wanted to, play their decks. Otherwise, Eric and I would do it, and I guess people would be very embarrassed with our plays. But everyone said
well,
yes.
actually, we're too evenly matched, right? We tied the first game, and now we had to actually get good players to come out. And
yeah. Me playing far too conservative. I'm just a conservative player, and it's my first time playing a burn deck in Genesis, and yeah.
Yeah, you're a good person. You don't play burn, so you're
That's true. That is true. You are a good person.
I like having minions. I like to send out peons. There's like you deal with the enemy champion. You do that.
Oh, maybe you're not a good person.
I mean, cardboard can't die or have its feelings hurt, right? Isn't that true? I don't know. But yeah, right now you can see we've got the bracket up there. So we're starting, I guess, at the top for this match. But our second match later in the night is going to be actually the bottom of the bracket. So I guess we're starting outside in, like, a good meal. You start with your cutlery on the outside and work your way towards the middle. And yeah, so we got Eric L on WormStrike and Night Angel, better known as WillK, on Boltwalker, as we call it. I don't know if that's what Will calls it. We kind of called it when we first, I guess, highlighted the deck from the Compete Esports or Compete Sports. I guess.
Compete Sport.
Yeah, the big E is capital, but there's only one E between the max, so it's Compete Sport, I guess.
Should be cool with like the esport thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Esport.
It's for the search engine.
Yeah, Compete Esport. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. Sorry, apologize.
If you're hearing that, George, Pat Esport.
But yeah, let's jump into discussing these decks. So goodbye bracket. That's text, not goodbye text. There we go. Goodbye bracket. And I guess first up we have Bazin. So I guess, Eric, you're piloting this. Want to give us a short rundown of how this guy works? What is it doing?
So this deck is built around the cards Emergent Worm and Epiphany. And the whole point is to draw a bunch of cards and then burn your opponents out using Emergent Worm. And the interaction with Bazin's ability, Reality Master, and Emergent Worm. So you can basically hit from like so many different points away. Or more importantly, just right in front of you too, which other champions can't do. And then of course you have stuff like Walker, which is a great card that is just even more amazing in Bazin. And then of course WormStrike, which is the strike in the name, to kind of shore up your kind of weak points to be able to have some mobility while also having some burn. So draw a bunch of cards, burn your opponent out. That's the name of the game.
Sweet. Yeah, I guess I'll just quickly, just to highlight how silly this is. There we go. Okay, it spawned really big, but that is Bazin's awareness on the battlefield. This is the spaces that Bazin can hit with an Emergent Worm, including the space he's on. So like that's also a great interaction when people bring in Aura Purges, because you're using Epiphany and Dedicated Studies. You can actually hit Aura Purges with like 2 worms if it's underneath you. So yeah, like this is why the deck exists. Like this is just a silly kind of awareness that Bazin gets to do with his Reality Master ability. So we were big fans, and then we had to do it. Cool. And then I guess Will, you want to take us away with Nubia, Boltwalker?
Sure. So yeah, Nubia, draw 2 cards, play strong cards, and burn your opponent out real fast.
Yeah. Like it's not too much to say. I mean, so the funny thing here is like, I know in my first Nubia deck, I was putting in Epiphanies as well, because I was like 2 cards a turn is just not enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So,
sure.
But eventually someone figured out that wait, if we're drawing 2 cards a turn, but all the cards are just good cards that deal damage to your opponent, then that works.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some dedicated studies in case we do have some bad draws, but our low end is stuff that we want to have at least one of in the hand, and then our everything else, multiple copies of it is great. So we're happy to see multiple Tsunamis, multiple Chrono Walkers, multiple Bolt Shots, everything.
Now, this is the deck that I was thinking of. I know that a lot of people are used to seeing Chrono Walker as kind of a defensive tool, like get out of the way of stuff. But I think I've seen like Chrono Walker this is just a way to kind of get some extra move in your turn, if I remember right. Is that kind of one of the tactics of this one?
It's one of the plays is to use it to take advantage of the Tsunami awareness. So always have it. Position yourself so you can move once and rotate to get a big Tsunami hit in. Or sometimes it's just, you're going to go in right into their face and try to bolt shot them, trying to bait out their own response. And then you're using your Chrono Walkers to evade or move around, or if they're Chrono Walkering, you wait to see where they go, and then you go to the same spot or same side and ensuring that your damage hits. So this version is the non-targeting version. So Mythic Burst, Tsunami, and Bolt Shots don't target. So your Chrono Walker basically allows you to move around, and your damage will always hit wherever your Chrono Walker moves you. So
cool.
We'll see how it works.
Sweet. Yeah. So if you guys want to jump
get triple Epiphany in the first game, then
yeah, you just mean that way.
One can only hope.
Flip the table.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, well, we're gonna send Will and Eric over to Discord and kind of set up the streaming just kind of set up the view for game 1 here.
Into the trenches, into the arena. If you would
like
to
the
enter
arena,
into the arena, Will and Eric.
Into the server.
All right, I'm out. So you guys have
I think Eric's bad pun radar is starting. So.
All right. See you on the other side.
Yeah. Good luck, have fun. See you on the other side. So yeah, as they transition, get stuff set up. Just a quick introduction to both of us. You got Shahan over on one of the sides. I can't exactly see the stream. I think he's on the right. I'm Joey. Just wanted to hang out and do a little bit of commentary streaming as we test out for Days of Beckoning, which is something that you're also going to see a bunch of commentary for, which I've not announced who we've got, but I'm very, very excited of who we've got for that.
Yeah.
It is top secret. because I still need to buy one of their flights. Once I get that, then we can have that conversation. But yeah, special thanks to Chrono Walkers for putting this one on. Also, this will be fun. I know a lot of people are curious what the meta is. There's a lot of new players as well. What's up, DM? Welcome, Mr. Kagas. Yeah, so it'll be fun to kind of see what the meta is and see how they're tackled, especially with two top tier players like Will and Eric.
So just trying to make sure that we are getting the audio from the players. It would be nice, hopefully, if we get.
Yeah. So as we see if they can hit there, as Eric or Shahan tries to figure out their audio, you can see they're already rocking and rolling. Looks like Bazin's going first. Nubia is kind of moving away, dropping Cabbases pretty quick. Nubia has that extra effect of being able to draw basically 2 every round, so she's got a lot of that card advantage. That's kind of what makes her, getting all the damage cards as quick as she can. She really can go a lot faster than everybody else. So Cabbas comes in, typically a turn 1 play I'm used to seeing from Will of turn 1 Cabbas. All it takes is a discard from hand, so it's just a nice, cheap, easy summon out on the field.
Yeah. So the way this match is going to go is Will has like a certain number of turns, like around turn 3 or 4, where for the first kind of 4 turns, things are very much more in Will's wheelhouse, because he's getting like 2 cards a turn, like more like trying to force through that damage. You can see he's for Will's first turn, as mentioned, going into the Cabbas and then using that extra draw. Looking at the hands, I guess Will's got 2 bolt shots and 1 Chrono Walker and a Tsunami. Tsunami's going to come in key with the 5 Emergent Worms that
Eric, I mean, it's probably not as much damage as Will would want out of the gates. He's got 4, 8, 11 kind of in hand. Well, the burst makes it 13. Bazin's got that low life total, but Bazin doesn't necessarily need to be close either. That's kind of the trick to Bazin, is with all of those summons. Yeah, they're fun to do that, kind of that swift damage hitting for 3, but also at the same time, they're creatures on the field. You got to work through those once they're out there. So that's going to make it a little bit harder for Nubia to get in a position, which is kind of what the warp strikes are for.
Yeah, like Will really didn't want to see double shutdown in this first match in his starting hand, because Eric is revolving around Emergent Worm and Warp Strike, right? So Emergent Worm's a summon, Warp Strike's a technique.
Shutdowns are shutting down cast abilities, which neither of those things are. So
Pressure Point would have been maybe a more reasonable card that Will would have liked, but definitely not double shutdown. But Will's going to be drawing 2 cards a turn, mitigating that RNG. Mm-hmm. So,
So I see that Bazin's also just kind of holding for a little bit, not trying to overexert. In he comes, so he's in initial Tsunami out the gate. That's going to do 3 damage to the 6 squares in front of him, knocking out that Cabbas.
I think Will might go for the we'll see. Might go for the he's going for the Chrono Walker.
Eric's going for it,
going for the Chrono Walker. To use that shutdown, because like we mentioned, the shutdowns are pretty dead in this matchup.
So Chrono Walker giving Nubia the opportunity to swap places with it. So that's going to put Nubia right in front of Bazin, which is going to open up that shutdown. Get him an awareness of shutdown, which can negate that cast of Tsunami.
Yeah, because the shutdown probably wasn't going to do too much. So it's kind of like getting use out of a card that probably wasn't, going to be a key part of this matchup is great for Will.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So still waiting on the response from Bazin. Bazin has there's a couple options. There's not really a lot. You can at least maybe get out of the way of the shutdown. Probably a little bit too much effort to do that. So he's just going to let that one resolve, end that stack.
Yeah. So I think because it's his only Chrono Walker and he knows that, Nubia is going to burn him out, wanting to keep it in the back pocket for like a critical turn where those bolt shots are coming down or something like that.
Yep, exactly. He knows what that deck is trying to do. Keep the stuff that helps you get out of the way. So Bazin's going to finish up with just 1 little water strike into Nubia. Little chip shot.
Yeah.
Nubia's going to, or Will's going to spin Cabbas around. So flanking Bazin and hitting for 2 dark.
Yeah, getting into the pockets, like the few spaces that Bazin cannot hit with an emergent worm. Always happy to be there. I'm actually curious why. I'm sure like Eric's got a good reason. Maybe saving it for other threats he's more worried about, but not going for the like the once the tsunami was broken down, not going for the emergent worm at the end of ooh, okay, aggressive.
All right, to knock it out. So emergent worm does come in. It's going to get so it gets to basically be summoned. It's a quick beckon, so it comes in kind of at any point in time. Once it shows up, there's a trigger. It's going to do a ranged attack to anything or to a target in its awareness, which is just to its left and its right, which they figured out.
Yes.
So it's going to end up being able to hit Nubia for 3. Nubia is just going to end up taking, puts an emergent worm on the field as well. So that's going to be something to deal with.
Yeah, so I think...
And he's going to do it again.
Yeah, I think Eric is like maybe sensing a little bit of blood in the water here.
Possibly. Like if Nubia is right there and he's swinging around, I would have expected to see a lot from Nubia. Like, you know, that's if he's got the kill, right? Bazin's only at 17 life. That's where you see maybe the bolt shots and all that stuff come in.
Yeah.
Not seeing that. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's Bazin finding his window of I can get some damage in and actually make a real problem for Nubia.
Yeah, because with this arrangement, Will has help of 2 surprise emergent worms. Will's boxed in, right, by those 2 emergent worms. So Eric might just be going for like by the end of this round that all 5 emergent worms will be on the battlefield, and that's like 15 damage on this turn, and then next turn Will can't move out easily, so then that's another 15 damage, right?
Yeah, Nubia is effectively trapped at this point. So kind of know where to go, which if you're loaded on bolt shots, that's its own problem. But in this case, we're going to start off with a tsunami that'll take Bazin to 14 if it hits. So technically Will does have kind of everything he needs as far as damage between the 2 mythic bursts and the 3 bolt shots. So, you know, if all the damage goes through, Bazin just dies here, but also this is Will and he knows better. So
yeah, and like
easily able to expect getting stuff out of the way. This is where it gets really tricky of when do you do that warp strike? Do you let some of the damage go through?
Yeah. So
that warp strike is
yeah,
go ahead. Yep, you've got this.
Now.
So this is that attempt to get out of the way, warp strike to warp somewhere around Nubia, which is going to be kind of weird because there's not really a place for Bazin to go. Warp strike's kind of you can hit the caddis and just get out of the way.
Just to get out the way, absolutely.
Yep. So in response to that warp strike, Nubia is going to just poke for 1, and then in come the bolt shots.
Yeah.
So this is where timing's really tricky. This is a lot of damage that's coming in. You can see Bazin's just taking a ton of it. Partly because if he uses that last Chrono Walker, that last out, then Nubia can just come on top with everything before the Chrono Walker hits and just kill Bazin before he's able to move out of the way. So timing is key.
Yeah. No, it looks like I think both players are deciding to try and finish this match in this turn and the next round. So Eric needs to survive till the next round so that all those emergent worms exert, and Will needs to kill him so that those emergent worms don't exert.
Yeah, pretty much. So as soon as basically whoever survives is pretty much dead next turn.
Yeah. With us having being able to see the cards in hand, I believe it is currently in Eric's favor. Just him having 2 get out of jail cards in that warp strike and the Chrono Walker he saved critically early on an earlier turn. Didn't decide to go for it.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, with that that bolt shot's looming, that can take him to 4. There's 1 more bolt shot in hands that would take him down to 0. But Eric has that Chrono Walker, so at any point he can kind of move out of the way. Yeah. It'll ultimately end Bazin at 4 life. Bolt shot to finish it. Eric should follow up the Chrono Walker, which he will. That'll get him out of the way.
Oh, there we go. I was like, how did that Chrono Walker get over there? Okay.
Bazin choosing to move on top of Nubia.
That is interesting. But yeah, I think it's I think he's just that's like Will's kind of just trapped between a rock and a hard place. Like the Cobus is primed to kill the Chrono Walker, but like if Nubia needs to get out of the way of all those worms, and unless
That's probably the play, is that get the Chrono Walker in the way. Okay,
but the tsunami triggers. Oh,
you forgot about the tsunami trigger.
Right. So wait, who is first in this? Is it?
So it's Bazin. Bazin's first.
Bazin's first. Oh, so then I think that means that we might see an end to this, or
I'm not quite sure what they're doing at this point.
Maybe they might be talking about plays or something. Yeah. So yeah.
I think that's
over. Yeah. So they're just kind of resetting.
Yep. So we'll acknowledge that, the only way for him to get out of that, I don't actually think there is a way for him to get out of that one, because there's so many emergent worms. Even if he has a way to Chrono Walker or WormStrike in response, you're just going to see 4 or 5 attacks just stacked on top of each other, ensuring that Nubia can't get out of that. So maybe he got herself a little bit trapped in that one.
Yeah. Like Eric found the timing. He had that turn 1 epiphany, which was key to just be able to keep up with Nubia.
Which I'm sure made Will thrilled.
Cool. So I imagine we can't see it right now, but I imagine players are going to sideboarding.
So for those of you who are unfamiliar with sideboarding in Genesis, if this is your first time seeing stuff, sideboarding is done in between rounds. You effectively have 100 chi to sideboard with. If you are looking to sideboard, you have to take out kind of an equivalent number of chi. There's 250 chi in a deck. And that's represented by each card having kind of their own power level. So Chrono Walker, I think, is like a 6 power level. So if you wanted to swap in something with another Chrono Walker, it would either have to be a 6, or you'd have to find some kind of way to balance maybe multiple cards in order to bring another one in. But knowing what we know about the sideboards, what kinds of things are you thinking that, Will is definitely the one who's got a little bit of work to do here. What are you seeing him maybe sideboarding in for this one?
Right. So let's hop back over to our other one. So Will, I'm not I don't think Will go for the juke here, because like part of the sideboard here is Will has a downgrade where he can convert his mythic bursts into wind slashes, and then use the saved chi to start fitting some like angels, and like and maybe similar stuff with like downgrading like Chrono Walker's Olims. But this is a very reactive game. Cool.
Knowing Bazin's trying to rush in, like, is there value to having the angels? You're just trying to like maybe get in the way of them, or there's just kind of a waste if I see all those emergent worms?
Yeah, like I don't think this is the right match for the angels. I think Will needs to stay agile. I'm not sure.
Swapping in maybe like the warp strikes.
Yeah, warp strikes probably will try to find a way to fit the warp strikes.
Sure.
Right. Will is is going first this time, so that the line of play that Eric used to murder him, or beat him. Sorry, I should say murder, but beat him in the last match.
It was 4-0 there. It wasn't a murder.
So if you want to just take a quick break,
is a bit easier. Is not available to Eric, because that's very much part of the like being first means that Will doesn't get a chance to even move Nubia, right? Like with that opening that he made with the tsunami. Like if Will was first in the last game, he could have just moved out the way, because there's no time for Eric to be able to put an ability on the stack. But because Eric was
be back in like 2 minutes.
Cool. The players are just gonna take a 2-minute break, and I have a quick picture of how they sideboarded, so we can stop I guess
stop speculating and see what they actually did.
See what they actually did. And the players
this is one of the fun parts about Coliseum of Fates. Once again, as always, thank you, Wasim, for putting this together, but we can actually see kind of what they brought in for thoughts, and sideboarding are things you can absolutely do inside of this platform. It's 100% free to play. It's just done through Discord, so a lot of people kind of coordinate in Discord. Hey, I'll see you in Coliseum. What? You still working on that? Looks like you're still working on getting the sideboard up.
A couple more clicks, and we'll be right there. Where'd you go? There you are. Cool. All right, it's covering our faces, but we can fix that.
That's okay. All right, so it looks like
Yeah. Okay. So Will is the easier one to I think talk about because it's shorter. So we'll start with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
So it looks like he wanted to get more draw. He wanted to get more out of the way.
Yes. The Mythic Burst being 2 damage, and Warp Strike and Olim all being 3 damage, means it's a pretty easy include. Also, Olim's giving Will a little bit more card draw, and then Warp Strike is giving Will more interaction for the critical interaction spaces. If that actually kills Emergent Worms, and then Olim being another 3 damage summon.
Draws a card when it comes into the left and right. So Will kind of learning from last time. We even talked about it. That first hand was it was a lot of shutdowns. It wasn't probably as much damage as Will would have liked. I mean, chances are if he had one more bolt shot wins him that game.
All right, how's it
in the one that we just saw. So, get that extra card advantage. And if you need it, get out of the way. Do the warp strikes.
Yeah.
Surprised to see so much adjustment from Eric here.
Well, I have drawn cards.
Dropping 3 emergent worms. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yep.
Adding cognitive restrictions. So Eric's looking to go a little bit more defensive on this one. Cognitive restriction, able to negate an ability 6 in front of you, costs 17 aura to do it.
Yeah, if Eric can survive the initial onslaught, which is what these cogs restricts are for, even saving an epiphany, then there's a good chance that he can just flood the board with just too much stuff for Will to deal with, because Will can't be spending all his damage trying to deal with Eric's summons, which is that's part of why Alim came in, right? That's a summon repeatable damage source that doesn't cost a card every turn.
Yep. So seeing Alim and whatnot, that is that extra card draw. Aura Purge is a great swift to kind of counter that. If you're an Aura Purge, you're not drawing cards from your own abilities. So chances are, I'm seeing Eric just what would I change if I were Will? Definitely get more card draw, get more defense, and it looks like he's trying to kind of preemptively counter all of that.
Yeah, Aura Purge is because Will is a dedicated studies deck, and it's kind of you must have an answer to that. Will does have answers to the Aura Purge, right? With Chrono Walkers and all that stuff. With the trigger on the stack, you can move off and then do things, or once it's resolved in a spot, you can Chrono Walker to get off it if a dedicated studies or epiphany, which Will doesn't play, is on the stack.
So with that in mind, also, if you're Bazin here, are you not going as aggressive? Knowing you've got things like the Aura Purge, if you've got one, do you rush in? Or you kind of maybe wait to see if Will drops those dedicateds, which if I remember right with Aura Purge, you just discard 2. That's it.
Yeah. I think you do kind of it's really tough. You kind of have to try and read, because if the game goes super long, it's good because the 2 cards a turn will eventually get to a point where those bolt shots can't be played. The early game is in Will's favor, and then they'll get to a middle point where if Will is deploying enough threats and Eric can't quite survive the onslaught, it's a little bit bad for Eric, and then it gets more and more in Eric's favor the longer it goes, because suddenly bolt shots are getting every 2 turns. That's another bolt shot that Will can't play, even if he's drawing all these cards.
Now Eric, he's seen the deck. We know that Foreboding Tombstone is in there as well, which is another trap. When a champion leaves that space, they have to discard 2 cards at random. Why not bring that one in?
I think it's just fighting where your opponent is strong. So Nubia is just drawing 2 cards a turn, so it's just less effective in the net. Definitely trying to hit because Aura Purge, for those who weren't aware, it doesn't hit triggered abilities or passive abilities. So the Alim draw or Nubia's just Vision's ability that draws. So being able to get snag those dedicated studies is exactly what it's for. It's just for 1 card, because it turns dedicated studies into pay 2 energy, discard 2 cards.
Pay 2 energy, discard, lose dedicated study and discard 2 cards.
Which is
neat.
Pretty sweet. Yeah. I'll let the players know that they can start whenever they like, I guess.
Decoy?
All right, guys. So you can start whenever you like. I guess the
We already
second
started.
match. Oh, you already started. Okay, it's not updating. Hold on. We weren't aware that was. Okay, I'm gonna refresh.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
That's why.
Yeah, we'll probably need a new link if it's a new.
Here. It might be a new. Put in the PreChamps Gauntlet. It might be a new game. That's why, because you need to.
Okay. We're still, first time doing this kind of stream like this off of spectate mode, so we're still working out.
Oh, guys,
the
you guys are well into it. Cool. Yeah. So let me just. I think we can get the stream up and running. Which turn are you guys on for this match?
Third.
Third turn. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Just give us a couple moments to get that.
Yep. Communication is key. Our apologies as they've already gotten going. So we're gonna hope that Nubia wins this one, so we can see around 3.
I just assumed you were watching, but
weird. Yeah.
Or listening.
No worries. So let's see. I think
if I can get that link as well.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yeah. I'm sending it to Joey right now. Okay, that should be the new link. I think you might need to add a spectate at the end of that, or maybe it auto.
Yep. All right. So let's see where they landed. I'll give you guys a
yeah. If you guys can, if you're not in the middle of a complicated stack, if you guys can give us a quick rundown of what we missed, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah. So it looks like Nubia going first.
Then,
on this one,
Will moved up.
Looks like Nubia starting
hold on,
off.
Joey. I guess you can't hear them speaking, so.
Then I kept running at him like a madman.
Eric's talking. Sorry.
Is that a good rundown?
Sorry, if you could just do that one more time there. Sorry, if you could do that one more time there, Eric. Sorry, Joey can't hear you guys, so he was talking. Sorry. Growing pains. All good. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Shoot.
On the first turn of the game, I went first as Bazin. Did a double move. Will moved up, double bolt shotted me. Then I kept on running at him, and currently I have a tsunami on the stack, and Will is
adding a decoy.
Yeah, adding a decoy.
Okay. Cool.
Which is fine. That resolves.
Sweet. Yeah, I guess. Sweet. Thanks. Yeah, I guess Joey, if you wanna join into the Discord voice, I can drag you in, and then if you just mute your voice in that thing. I think you'll be able to hear. That's how it's working for me. So I can hear.
Yeah, I'll be good. You can just cue me in when audio's up. So.
Okay. Well, take it away, gents.
Okay. All right. So yeah, then tsunami goes off.
Yep.
Okay.
Alam's dead. Chrono's at 3.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, then I will. Pass the turn. I guess I will.
Okay, so Nubia's adjusted.
For one.
Yeah. So yeah. Eric just passing.
Water attacking for Chrono to knock him down to 2.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Okay, so let's look at what we got here. So Bazin is down to half his health.
Yep. Bazin's down to half health. Dedicated to Chrono's emergence, WormStrike. So probably not what Eric wants to see.
We'll do tsunami.
Nubia gets to kick this one off. Starting off with a tsunami, which is going to kill off the Chrono Walker and Bazin. Eric's got a lot of tools out of this one.
Yeah.
Will start.
Pressure point.
Okay, so having the pressure point.
That's fine. No response.
Pressure point negates a technique, which is going to knock the WormStrike out, keeping everybody in range of that tsunami.
3 and your Chrono Walker dies.
Yeah. And then the dedicated star is being dead for Eric right now, because he doesn't want to discard any of these cards. They're all great.
Tsunami.
Yep.
And Will, let's see, he's got 3. 4.
Another tsunami, so I count 3, 3, 4.
Yeah, so that's 10 down.
It's like 11 in hands.
I will place.
Bazin's going to get out of the way of this one.
Yeah, but there is another Chrono Walker.
Decoy goes off.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Before the decoy goes off, sure.
Chrono.
Yeah, that's fine.
My decoy's on the stack.
I'm not quite sure what they're doing on this one.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, I see. So Nubia's Chrono. So Bazin Chrono Walker, and Bazin gets to put the Chrono Walker anywhere around him. That's his benefit.
On the diagonal.
He's getting way out of the way. In response,
3
Nubia's
damage
Chrono Walkering to get herself back into range of that, or to put herself back where the tsunami would hit Bazin. The Chrono Walker's gonna take a hit on it as well, but getting 3 damage in.
All right.
on Bazin is
that was
very
me.
well worth it.
I missed the damage on the. Should have attacked you, but
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I missed it. I
Okay.
missed one too. I guess.
And the Nubia will end.
Yeah. Baz is
the
not
end
in
of
a
the
scary spot.
turn-
Will still having 7 damage in hand.
Yep.
Plus
the one little chipper.
A emergent worm.
Bazin comes in with an emergent worm. Maybe looking to off that Chrono Walker.
Place it here.
No, you can put it in front of you and hit and get Nubia in for 3. I totally understand how this game works.
And then I will play another one.
sure.
So this is clearly end of round stuff. End of round shenanigans.
Yeah. I mean, this is where Bazin likes to play, right? This is Bazin's wheelhouse, just doing all this stuff at end turn.
Makes sense.
We'll just go ahead and burn up that bolt shot before the fire attacks come in. So preserving some of that damage, knocking out the worm, the Chrono Walker, his own Chrono Walker in the process. But Will's probably looking and saying, you know what, I've got the card advantage.
Yeah.
I got the life to work with.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen here?
Bazin very much on the back foot, like just trying to find a way to survive. And Will getting those repeatable damage sources off the board. Exactly what we want.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he doesn't like the way we're doing it.
I guess not.
And now the round, I think, can
next
begin.
round?
Yeah, new round. Will gets 2.
All right.
Eric gets 1. So pressure point and a bolt
Pressure
shot.
point, a bolt shot.
So,
Oh, man.
I mean, that's yeah. So second dedicated.
Looks like Bazin gets to go
studies.
first this round, so maybe Will deferring to Bazin.
Dedicated studies. Pressure
Moving in, dedicated
Yeah,
studies,
what-
so trying to get some
Then
stuff.
I will play mind reading.
Mind reading. Might as well see what you're about to get hit
Oh,
with.
so Will chose to go second, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be a question we'll have to ask him. I mean,
Yeah.
potentially working here. Bazin's going to mind read. That basically makes it so he can look at Nubia's hand.
and he sees not the hand he wants to see. Like
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, then
You do not want to be looking at 7 damage, 4 of that coming at swift speed. And they're just going to call that one there. Bazin knows that's there's just
I don't think I'm gonna make
no hope.
But we actually do have to play in fourth.
So before we kind of screw this one up 1-1, we're going to make sure that as they go to the third round, we get the new link for the right one.
Yeah.
So I will let you work inside of that Discord chat to coordinate all that,
Yep.
so that we don't jump in halfway into a game. So I'm
Sounds
gonna go on
good.
mute,
I will.
and I will be back in a sec.
Yeah. I'll mute as well.
Hello.
Oh, that doesn't work. Yeah. So, all right.
How's it going?
Hey, welcome. So yeah, you guys are fourth outing again there.
That's right. Yep.
Sweet. I guess Will. Well, okay, no, we'll ask this question at the end, I guess, because I'm gonna ask about the play or react decision, but no, we'll leave that for later, I guess, just in case there's any more information. But yeah, I guess if you guys can, throw up the image link with the new forethoughts once you guys are done.
We're gonna probably keep the same forethoughts. We just
I'm
have
not
to.
changing
We have
anything.
the forethought.
I just have to. I put. Yeah, I didn't. Like you said, I didn't keep it, so I just made the same changes. But you'll see. Like I didn't change anything. So.
I actually don't remember what I did, so I might have to.
I mean, you could.
You're allowed to.
Yeah, you could look at the picture, I guess, that you sent me earlier. And then, will it be a new link or for?
No, I'm all set. I have everything. I think.
Should be. So let's make sure we get it for before they go.
Wait, you need to. Yeah, that's right. You need to make some changes too.
Yeah, so it looks like I'll need the new game link.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you guys have got that.
Big doom screen.
Yeah, I'll go put.
There we go. Okay. Is this the new one? No, this looks like the same one.
Where did I put the picture? I don't remember. That's fine. I have the picture.
Oh, has Eric sent a link?
I haven't seen it yet, so make sure
Okay.
that they do that before they get started.
I don't see it. I don't.
Oh,
see
do I have to click ready?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, you have to just click lock.
I clicked the lock.
Oh wait, are you in Water Snake?
I'm in Air Ghoul.
That's why.
You guys are in two
Where-
different
Why-
rooms.
Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that happens.
That happened.
It's kind of impressive, honestly.
Is it Air Dash Ghoul?
air dash school / join.
All right. Let me remake my side button.
Reminding me how much I find Nubia boring. This is good.
You're welcome.
For the championship.
Seems like they're still trying to figure it out.
Help me make my decision easy.
Yeah, just technical difficulty is trying to get into the same arena is what's happening right now. It was like, oh, wait, I thought you were fighting this, or no, I thought we were fighting over there. It's just, the champions are just on different sides of the of the planet.
Well, as they're figuring it out, I'm gonna go ahead and plug something, since it's probably gonna be useful for those of you in Toronto looking for kind of a last chance to get into Worlds. There are actually 2 tournaments happening this weekend. One over at North of Exile, as well as our friends at Mansa Trading, doing some kind of last chance qualifiers for Worlds. So more info to come on those, like very soon, since they're this weekend. All right, looks like we got ourselves a game 3.
Yeah. All right, take it away, gents. And I will mute myself so I'm not spoiling the match for you guys.
Yep, so not sure who's going first on this one. Looks like Bazin's going to look to go first. Eric's got 2 Emergent Worms, WormStrike, Shutdown, Chrono Walker. This is a better... This is options. These are options.
Yes, but no Epiphany, which kind of really feels...
I have no intention of ever playing Nubia again.
Gonna be what we that's gonna be what turns the tide if Will's able to win this one. Will having kind of the same issues that first one, but hilariously, despite not having a ton of damage, he's got 2 All Ilms to help get that card, get those cards back.
Yeah, so those will essentially be able to, I guess, cantrip, to use earlier lingo from established lingo. So they're gonna be on the board and require a Emergent Worm to come down at some point to deal with them, but they'll also let Will just draw another card.
Yeah, so in this case, Will's actually going to hang back. No reason to go in front. Alm goes to the left. Breakthrough if they're summoned left or right, then Nubia gets to draw a card.
Yeah, absolutely. Also wants to kind of keep
some more damage.
Olims in this kind of orientation if Will can, because then Bazin has to rotate to try and put Emergent Worms in a position where they can hit the Olim, but the Olim cannot just kill them, because like these Olims are already on the board, right? But so that's why Will's hanging back.
All right, next round.
Yep. So Will kind of getting exactly what he was probably looking for with that, which were 2 damage cards.
It's looking pretty scary for Will. He's got more cards in hand, and he's got card filtering if he wants to shave pressure points and such.
So it's interesting that Bazin's trying to trap Nubia in place here, it seems. So
I will WormStrike.
Olim's going to move up. Bazin's try to hit for 3. Bazin's going to follow up with a WormStrike and get pressure pointed down. Eric's got a lot more WormStrikes, so...
Yeah, the WormStrikes are going to hopefully buy Eric a little bit of time to try and find that card draw so he can keep up, because this is... Will almost having the double number of cards that he does in hand.
That was spicy. So having to burn 3 WormStrikes. 3 WormStrikes burned there. So WormStrike, execute, WormStrike, or WormStrike, pressure point. 2 of those got canceled. Finally, that third one gets through, lets him get out of the way of the LM. Gets to get 3 attack in on Nubia in the process, but probably not what he was hoping for, because now, I mean, he's still got a Chrono Walker to get himself out of the way. There's that at least.
Right? So it actually doesn't do anything.
Both times, so it fizzles.
Oh, I should have. Yeah, that was stupid. I should have been targeting.
But the other thing is getting out of the way of the pressure points. Having that last one go basically gets moves Bazin out of the way of the pressure points as well, which lets the WormStrikes that tried to be negated. They still get to fire this time, as WormStrike's awareness is left, right, and in front.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess
opting not to do anything with that, because the only place for Bazin to move would probably be right in front of Nubia, which is not where you want to be. And the dependency on WormStrike is that you have to move in order for that 3 damage to go through. So Bazin basically gives up 6 damage to not be in front of Nubia at any point.
But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Like you're on your back foot. Cannot let Cannot let that damage get in there.
Yep. Nubia moves and rotates to the right, staring Alum in the face. Now, you know, they've done their job, so definitely setting up for the 2 tsunamis, which is now 4 tsunamis in hand, courtesy of dedicated studies. We'll see if he wants to get rid of one of those, but that is, let's see, 12 plus the bolt. Well, the bolt shots maybe help. The Chrono Walker will probably get you in range of those bolt shots, so he's got the damage to get through, leaving himself with 20 damage in hand.
Yeah, like this is like what I was talking about, where it's like it takes a little bit of time before Eric can get to a point where he can really take advantage of his strengths. Yeah, definitely lots that Eric has to try and make up.
Nubia just passes here, so
yeah, like Will has the repeatable damage sources on board, so Will's very happy to just like every hit with an Alim on Eric, if they resolve, is like 3/4 of a bolt shot that Will doesn't have to play.
Yeah, exactly. Or that, you know, can stack.
Yeah, so it's kind of almost buying time for Will, right? Like the game's going longer, but if you're just getting the damage.
I'm gonna place it behind me.
Bazin pops in with an Emergent Worm right behind, so he's gonna get some chip shot damage in on Nubia. Again, this is one where Bazin is going first again.
Yeah.
So that 3, the Emergent Worm, is probably gonna be able to follow up with another 3 damage at Nubia.
Yeah.
Next turn.
It'll be interesting to see how Eric plays this. If he thinks that maybe his only out is just to try and focus on Nubia.
I'm gonna
convert these Emergent Worms just into... No, so he's going for the other line. So Eric is going to try and play to, I guess, a little bit of, you know, the strength of repeatable damage sources. But, I mean, we know Will's hand, and we know that if he tries to play out multiple worms, that, yeah, Will has tsunami after tsunami after tsunami to try and...
Yep. So that looks like that tsunami, Bazin's just going to let that one go.
Yeah.
3 damage down. Bazin's at 13. Emergent Worm ends. Another tsunami coming in. At what point, if you're Eric, are you looking at that kind of last Chrono Walker of yours?
So, probably like at this point, you just have to kind of wait until the lethal attack comes and just hope, which is, I mean, almost about to happen.
Yeah, 3 bolt shots in hand. So you know, that first one goes through. The second one would require the Chrono Walker. Then the third one over the top would.
Yeah, and there's an all-in, don't forget, for Will. So that's the
and there's the all. Yeah, there's also that all-in.
I like this play from Will. Open up with a 3 damage. Force. You have more cards. Force Eric to play them out in response to your summon. And then just go for it.
Yep. Chrono Walker in the corner. Bazin gets out of the way.
Yeah, but now Nubia's in a great spot to just move back 1 space and then like unload with bolt shots, right?
Yep. So it looks like this just kind of ends for Bazin, and they'll figure that out soon enough.
Okay, so yeah, not even waiting for all this stack to resolve.
Decoy or Chrono or the decoy?
Okay, no, that's right, decoy. Yeah.
Okay, decoy's on the stack.
Just get it out of the way now.
Okay, responding to the decoy.
I can't do anything about that.
Yep. So in response to end, I'll hit you for 1.
Yeah, I'll take 1.
Yeah, I think.
Alim's attack misses.
Well, no, it hit. Well, it's
hits the
Chrono.
It hits the Chrono.
Yeah.
So nobody chips in 1, ends it.
Yeah, because like bolt shot is Swift speed, right? So yeah.
All right, no response.
Yep, there's the first one, and that second one should do it.
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
GG.
I guess if you guys want to join us in the back in the Zoom call, we can talk about the game.
Link is in Discord, right?
Yeah.
Test. Can you hear me?
Test. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Alright.
Yeah, it sounds
Cool.
like.
So I can just close this window with this Coliseum page.
Yes, with that victory screen.
Okay. It's just sometimes I always open up and I have like 16 active duels and like I haven't been on Coliseum of Fate in forever.
So
Right.
actually, one thing that's weird is it says victory, but I lost. It should say defeat. Alright, we need the loser to feel bad when they see this.
Oh no.
All right. So, I mean, I feel like an interesting question to start off with is, so who was right about Bazin being on the play in this matchup? Like, because both of you chose for Bazin to be going first, right? Will, you had the choice there, but you elected to go second, and then Eric in game 3 also elected to go first, so that Bazin got 3 games where he got to be leading. So
actually, I'll answer that question with a different statement, in that actually it didn't matter. I didn't draw Epiphany game 2 and 3, so it didn't matter who went first, second.
That is the big observation, right? So your Epiphany game 1, I don't know how many Emergent Worms you drew from the Epiphany, but you had
A lot.
a lot. Did you grab 2 or 3 from that Epiphany?
I mean, we can check the tape. I don't remember exactly what it was, because I also did some dedicated studies as well.
You did, yeah.
So I know that at some point my hand was just like only damage spells and like maybe one shutdown or something. But and that last Corner Walker.
Yeah, I mean that's when it comes to competitive. I know the Epiphany is the draw 3 cards. I mean, Eric. First of all, like, I think you're an amazing, phenomenal player, and I don't think you would play Epiphany normally in your own style deck, because I think you understand the drawbacks to it, right? Yeah. Like, you are so swingy when your Epiphanies are in your deck, because if you don't have it, then you're sort of just like scraping whatever you get, and then if you do, it's like, oh my gosh, look at all these options that I have, right?
Yeah, basically. That's why I was double moving towards you, because A, I couldn't play an Epiphany, so it didn't matter, and B, the only chance I had was to try to end the game before your card advantage took over, because I know from experience I can't wait back against a Nubia.
Yeah.
No.
So I have to run in there and hope that you draw badly and I draw well, basically.
All right,
Which
so now
is
I gotta ask though, because I saw that, but then I saw, you know, your initial sideboard was really a lot more defensive than run in, because you started adding in the shutdowns, the pressure points, warrior purges, things like that. So was that, did you feel it was even going to matter, or, you know, kind of swapping out some of that damage was even going to matter, or were you just hoping you got lucky and Nubia was slow?
So just based on my experience from the compete sport games, like the Nubia has the advantage where they can kind of stay back. Like, if we showed that graphic of where Emergent Worm can hit, and one key thing to realize is that Emergent Worm can't hit 2 spaces in front of you. Cog Restrict can. So it may be a mistake to take out one Epiphany, but I feel like to put it in those Cog Restricts, I needed to do something. And the sideboard is like kind of up in the air. I'd have to do some testing, but as Will was saying, you know, I don't actually want to play Epiphany decks anymore.
But you did. We expect to see it. So
yeah. So you know, for testing purposes, it's something to look into. I know for my future decks, and maybe some spoilers, but for my championship deck, I will not be running Epiphany.
So let me ask you guys this: we'll say, you know, I'm versus somebody, and I see they turned 1 Epiphany. How do I change my, like, do I change the way that I play based off of that? I mean, naturally, I know in the back of Will's mind is just like, just toss it in and go to round 2. But like realistically, I see turn 1 Epiphany. What do I do in response? Like, how does that change my play style?
I play Epiphany. I don't play against it. So someone else has to answer that.
Yeah.
So turn 1 Epiphany, you are it's so many variables. Like, if you don't have the amount of damage, so like, to put actual numbers on, if you don't have like 3/4 damage in your hand and they Epiphany, then you need to hope or avoid confrontation longer. Okay. Right? Because you have to assume No, without open deck lists, you have to assume that they are pulling a 6 to 8 chi card, and probably 2 of them from that epiphany.
Okay.
Which means that you're looking at anywhere from 4 to 5 damage per card, depending on the cards and the card pool, right? So if you're in yellow, you're assuming they're taking 2 bolt shots. They may not have 2 bolt shots, but your assumption on how you play is that, okay, they've just grabbed 2 bolt shots. That means, can I go in with facing potentially 8 damage? And then you answer that question. Or so if you're in red, it could be they pulled 2 Baruchs. So now it's like, okay, can I kill 10 health of summon before I take 8, 12, 16 damage?
Gotcha. So you're thinking, you know, I see what they've got. You're thinking about how much am I going to have to do in damage before I know whether or not I want to try to come in for the kill or for really whatever the hell I'm trying to do.
Whatever you're trying to do. And honestly, so that was like, I assumed that that Eric had 2 merchant worms. So when I saw the 2, I was like, okay, those are the 2 that he got. He didn't have anything else. And then obviously he did. Like he had like 6, right? And I only had the 1 Chrono Walker. So in hindsight, I should have just let the Tsunami hit and stayed back and hope to get the second Chrono Walker, or try to use the Chrono Walker from a Tsunami to wipe out multiple worms. But in that first game, you don't know what he's pulling. The Epiphany just adds so much variance to what their style is.
Yeah. And even in that first game, like you have 1 more ball shot or 1 more Chrono Walker, you win. So
right.
Something other than a shutdown or a pressure point in those first couple, right?
We saw you draw like I think 2 shutdowns that first game. Like that's not what you want. And then we saw you switch to Alums, and sure enough, that third game you had the same problem. And then they were able to give you, I think, 2 Tsunamis off of that or some nonsense.
Something, I had 5 Tsunami. I had to discard a Tsunami, which tells you what. So back to the going first or going second. I think the going first, because I think the Bazin is geared towards aggression with the emergent worms. So going first, double moving in, I think, is the correct move. I think you have to hope that Nubia has a bad draw, which is a bad spot to be in anyways.
Just always Nubia.
Yeah. And then from there, it was interesting that you took out some of the worms. I guess that's probably just for the math purposes of what you were trying to bring in. So I brought in the limbs just to give, because you're running the Epiphany, just to sort of give something to sort of match that a little bit faster, because you were sort of double moving in, coming in, and your worms are going to come down. So maybe I have something else to move around and try to utilize that first turn. I have maybe 3 more turns than you, but it depends. I was also expecting maybe a double Chrono Walker into like 2 worms, right? But I think you only have 4 in your deck, right?
I only have 4.
You only have 4 in that deck, right?
Yeah, I only have 4, and I don't want to waste them moving towards you because I need them to dodge both shots.
Yeah, for defensive, right?
Yeah.
And even in my latest Nubia build, it's gone from 6 Chrono Walkers up to 8, right? So it's just the things that it lets you do is horrendous.
So I guess, all right, so let me ask with you, because card advantage is such a massive thing. This is the whole thing we're talking about. The people who are probably new, who haven't really seen too much of Nubia, just how do you kind of play around Nubia at all? Let's do Epiphany or no. How do you deal with the card advantage? I don't like that.
All three of us are just like
Well, I would say before I ever played against like this Nubia Boltwalker deck, and it was just like Nubia Hybrid, Nubia Angel, stuff like that, there was like clear ways to do it. It was just because there wasn't that huge burst. It was more like a lot of value, right? Like Angel is very scary, a lot of setup and stuff like that. So there was ways around it, but it definitely feels like there's a lot less, play against these kind of burn style decks, because it's just burn and then movement. And they're hyper consistent.
Yeah, every
card.
WormStrike and Mythic. With the exception of WormStrike and Mythic, those are the only 2 cards that are from Origins in this one. So this could have been done prior.
Oh yeah, no, I've made that comment before. That they're like this, the original, even without the Mythic Burst, right? The latest version has actually got rid of the Mythic Burst, and it's gone back to fully just beta and Jake. Well, except for Windslash, Windslash is the only card that's newer other than the first set. So yeah, it's a deck that has been around, but I guess the key is that no one had 10, 11 tsunamis at that point, because you're getting 1 to 2 a box, and you're only buying like maybe 2 or 3 boxes, and you're kind of keeping like it's a beta box that only came in, right?
Yeah, I remember buying beta boxes just to get more tsunamis. I was there.
To get tsunamis and hope that was the pull. It was like you knew you were getting one of every card in the set because it was actually spread out that way, and you got every rare plus 4 doubles, but it was the tsunamis and the Death's Companions that you really wanted in the uncommon slot. So
all right, so I want to take a moment, because I think the next round's it's in 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, we got a bit of time.
Which is going to be Idiris versus Suttir, but I'm looking at the one that Nubia could be facing next, which is going to be Coon Burst, which I think is Tim's kind of rope-a-dope deck, or Tasher Tigers. Now I know from experience that rope deck is a pain in the butt. Is there something Nubia has to worry about here, or is it just business as usual? The normal plan's going to be fine. How are you feeling going into either of those matchups if you're Nubia here?
So Nubia versus Kun. So the key with Kun is that you want to make sure that Kun can never triple move to your side. So you always just stand in front, 1 space away from Kun. Wherever Kun moves, you go 1 space right in front of where they're facing, so that they can't triple move to your side and do their heavy attack 2 or tsunami or whatever action speed thing they have. You force them in front of you so that you can counterplay their attacks, their abilities, or you can respond in kind. It is a bolt shot fest where it's just whoever has the most bolt shots by the time you meet. Also, Nubia knows that Kun is coming in right away. It's just triple moving right away.
Yeah, just like Eric.
Yep. So I remember. So just so I have that clear, it's Kun, an empty space, and then you staring him in the face. That's what you're trying to get to. Okay.
And you have to Kun might have the kill, but you won't know that unless you stand there. Because if you let him come to the side, you're dead in the water, or especially behind. If Kun gets behind you and able to do that, then you really can't do anything. Like warp strikes won't help. The only thing is a Chrono Walker, but some Kun builds run Chrono Walkers. They should be running warp strikes because of the flight.
Right. What about Tigers? Does Tigers worry you at all? I know that Tasher Tigers likes their snares and keeping you at bay, keeping you away while you have to deal with all those tigers.
So it depends on. So Tashir is tricky because they can hit you from range and don't have to come in close. So you have to go. They don't have to be in
your line either.
Right. So it's a bit awkward, but you're at the similar health pool, so you have to kind of race in and hope that you take game 1. Otherwise, you're bringing some summons to match and try to protect your sides, right? Your limbs are going to be card draw and then walls to stop the tigers from hitting you on the side and forcing them to come into the middle, and hopefully you're bolt shotting both Tashir and the tiger at the same time.
So you're hoping to go first in that matchup if you're Nubia?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Because you're hoping to go first, and you're hoping to have a Cabas or a Chrono Walker to drop right away so that you have turn advantage. Because the key is that, from my perspective anyways, for Nubia, if Nubia can finish the round, then Nubia will always have the advantage.
Okay.
Right? So if Nubia can end the round with bolt shots, tsunamis, whatever, she's just cleaning up the board. The Tigers can come in at the end of her turn, which is a problem, right? So we have to get in there, know that you're going to get some hits, kind of like the worms. You're going to have to take some hits, and hopefully your draws are good.
Gotcha.
Do you think you might see some end of round Tigers just to kind of deal with that? Do you think that's a line of play that Tasher might take? So giving up the quick part of it, giving up the turn just to have something on the board that exerts first.
Potentially, and more so with the like the Kato is actually more scary than the Sheer because of that force warp, right? Because now, I mean, the only thing that can benefit against the Kato is that my damage is hopefully hitting where a Tiger or a summon is and Kato at the same time, understanding that the summon's going to get saved, right, by the force warp, but hopefully my damage still hits the Kato. But with the Tashir, because of that awkward awareness, your bolt shots will never line up if they have the board advantage. So you have to have some extra creatures. So you're probably siding in the limbs again, or I mean, I know that version has angels in it. Those are scrapped now because I think it's too much on. It's actually taking away a lot of what you can do in the sideboard. So
what did you swap in for the angels?
So I've brought in Cogstrix and protective barriers.
Okay,
so I am going to just defense and control.
Okay.
Because if I can cog restrict a Tiger, that's actually going to hurt.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Okay.
Just like if Bazin, if the Bazin dropped the Epiphanies to all cog restricts, and you were just running 5 cog restricts in your main board, the amount of things you can do and shut down, especially with your Chrono Walkers on diagonals, you can just really take control of that board, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of movement there for defense. So,
and I think Bazin has a good shot, right? Like it has all the tools.
And that's why I originally made the deck. But because you can't counter Chrono Walkers with a free cheat, it makes it a lot worse. Because that was my original idea, is that you can use that diagonal to like pretty easily shut or pressure point something.
Yeah.
But then the Chrono Walkers come out, and all of a sudden, I've got all these cards in my hand. They can't really do anything.
Yeah. Or it could be the impalements, right? The impalements it's expensive with no energy reduction, but it's a big advantage if you can negate something or get that 6 damage in, even at the action speed.
Yeah, the impalements. I keep putting them in and taking them out.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward, right? Because you need to get close to take, because you're using Emergent Worm as like basically a damage spell, right? So it gets awkward when it's like, this is my
they're
plan,
competing thoughts.
And now, trying to hang back. Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, to circle around, Eric, same question, because now that you're in the bottom bracket, I guess with WormStrike, your next opponent will be the loser of that match between Tim 10 on Burst and Lipid Zaner on Tigers. So, like, what are you thinking against Khan? What are you thinking against Tashir with Worm?
I'm going to step away and you guys chat about that, so I'll be back.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, so we did, we did a lot of testing before the compete sport. The Converse deck, I'm not worried about it at all. I guess that's a little funny to say, but I feel like I kind of built that deck to beat the Converse deck, or at least play very well against it. The Sheer was actually my biggest worry going to the compete sport, and Nubia has the same kind of, or hits the same range that Sheer does, right?
Yeah.
2 spaces away. So like those 2 types of decks are the hard ones, and we actually do have the Bazin to Sheer deck up on our channel, and you win that if I'm not mistaken. As to Sheer. So
which is surprising.
And so
for me at least, I thought it would be a little bit more favored, but yeah, no. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, because we had that first game, I just completely blew you out, but then the next 2 games were like super close, very good games, in fact.
Yeah.
But it came down to the wire. So yeah, I mean, if I feel like very comfortable against Khan, and just it's gonna be shaky against the Sheer, so we'll see. Yeah.
I guess like I guess Kun's coming in, right? Like Kun's coming directly for you, so
yeah.
You hold those worms, and then once Kun's surrounded, like unless he holds the ropes, but game 1 you probably take that advantage, right?
Yeah, I mean there's 3 shutdowns in the main deck.
And like Chrono Walker, WormStrike, like WormStrike is just like so good against kind of like you just do the same line that like they make sure he can't get to behind you. But I mean, if you got a Chrono Walker, then even that isn't good enough, right? So, yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, thanks, Will, for joining us.
Hey,
You've got actually 2 more decks in this in tournament because we kind of put it together. Kind of thinking about what decks we wanted to play, and then suddenly all the players were like, "Oh, I'd love to play my deck in this tournament," which is like, thank you so much, guys. So I don't know, maybe we'll see you again later on, or I guess we'll try and do our best playing these matches to
hey, no, just enjoy it. It's awesome. I think it's a really cool idea that you've done this going in, right? Because it's kind of like, I know you're trying to build the hype and get the energy up and everything but it is interesting for someone who is like looking at these things like every day, being like, okay, where are the advantages, where are the things, right? And also for someone who's trying to prove to themselves that they don't want to play noob or have to play Nubia.
Oh man, we failed that today.
We'll try again. There's like this tiny window, right, that where it's like you can try and get more velocity with Bazin, just with hopefully a dedicated study into Epiphany, or Epiphany into a dedicated studies, like just to try and just edge out and like find that small window. But it very quickly goes to Nubia, and then like if you could survive to the late game, I guess conceivably like the 2 cards a turn would be a problem, but it's like that's a lot of rounds to get through before you get to that point.
The issue is that you have to pay for your card draw as Bazin, and Nubia just gets it for free, so you actually run out of resources.
That's like it. On turn 1 with an Epiphany, you've just at parity with Nubia. So because you went down a card to draw 3, so now you're up 2. Or sorry, I guess second round.
You're up a card. Yeah,
upper card.
But it is going to be very telling that the deck choices that you have, I think, are some of the top potential decks, right? Whether or not they are the same, or they've been tweaked, or they've been adjusted. I think you've definitely encapsulated, the top tier champions that can perform at the same level. Kun, Nubia, Idiris, Suttir, right? All these. So I'm still rooting for Suttir. Hopefully, Eric does her good.
All right, I'll try to play better this time.
I'm a fan of Suttir, but
I'm rooting for Alta.
I like Suttir.
I want Alta to get there.
Yeah, well, Alta is our one wild card. Like the first 7 decks for our Chronowalkers tier list are just the 7 in S and A. There's 3 in S and 4 in A, and then we had to add 1 more, and that was that's the Alta deck. So we'll see. That's our dark horse.
Yeah. So what's the thing that makes the Alta decks? What's the thing that makes the Alta deck worth being on this list?
Good cards, just good cards.
I mean, it's just the millipede.
Like, there are good cards in Phage. It's just kind of like sometimes it just feels that you're just trying to do stuff that other colors are doing better, right? Like if you try to go into the creature side, it's like, is this really better than Idiris and her 2 damage anywhere on the field? And if you try to go into like the burn side, it's like, is this really better than Nubia's ability to just draw more cards? Right. But like the pieces exist in Phage.
I think that's why the deck name was cheeky, right? It's like forced green.
Forced Phage. You forced Phage into the conversation.
I want to play green cards.
So I mean, I guess one of the things that Phage has that the others one don't are things like the replications and the winged elates. Are those just not good enough? Is that I assume that's just like, it feels like a speed problem, but like what's exactly the problem with those? Is that
it's speed? It's just like those things. Like, sure, you get 2 5/5s off the bacteria phage, but where are you summoning those? Are those behind you, so to protect them, and then it takes 2 to 3 turns to get them in play, or you put them in front of you and someone just walks up, they're already exerted, double tsunami, hits you and them all at the same time. Whereas the millipede can be on behind you and can hit, and as soon as that hits, that's that sort of ticking sort of clock where it's like, okay, this is winding down, right?
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if there's a sideboard there, but like terrible memories against the burst deck is something that the Nubia would never want to get hit late game for like 6 or 8 damage from a terrible memories, right?
Yeah, I mean, not even late game, right? Because it's kind of like if Nubia's got the damage out, sooner or later that Temporal Memories is going to be thing if the Nubia is like playing their game right, and if they're not,
Nubia plays a bolt shot
at the end of the game,
and bins 2 bolt shots, then that's already up 2 damage, right? And it's only after 1 card, so it makes it stronger. The other thing that people or don't realize is that the second ability of Alta is 3 damage from far away. No, it's
Yeah.
not 3 damage to one thing, but it's a guaranteed 3 damage onto the board, whether or not it hits 2 and 1 or 1 and 2, depending on which way you're doing it. But like that's a lot. Like I know you're up close. I know we talked about Idiris being 2 damage from anywhere, which is still stronger, but still that 2 and then 1 around that 2 is it's a powerful ability. So
let me ask, like, if the issue is the slowness, why isn't Iblis being considered? I would think, like, with the replicate stuff and having Iblis have that damage reduction and things like Hallowed Ground, that Bolt Shot, Insanity, and all that stuff takes forever. Like, she does not die from Will going off with Nubia.
Yeah, you're right. The problem is not
the
Nubia deck, though.
Yeah, Iblis would actually be good against Nubia, yeah.
Iblis destroys
everything
Nubia.
Else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Iblis destroys Nubia. Iblis destroys Idiris. But you know,
what does she struggle against?
Everything else.
Everything else. Right? Like if you go, like if you went to like I don't know, like something what's random. So let's say like a Rain warp deck where Iblis can't hit Rain because Rain's warping around, but Rain always hits for 2 plus all the warp damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
You drop a bunch of summons and surround Iblis, right? Then what does Iblis do?
Gotcha.
I can tell you from experience, like testing that matchup, if Nubia sideboards into Alims and has the 8 Chrono Walkers in the main board, Nubia has to run them all out as summons, surround Iblis and sort of like lock her down, because then Iblis has to turn and attack each one, and then each one's going to hit 3 times.
Gotcha. Well, that's a challenge, everybody. Let's go Iblis spoiler. I'm just saying.
Uh-oh. Will pulled an Alex.
Uh-oh. That's the end of Will.
Oh, for a moment, because I had it in like the small version on OBS I was watching, I thought Will was actually just like actually still moving, like he was pretending.
I'm moving on mine. None of you are moving.
Oh, okay.
There you are. You're back. Welcome back.
Hey, your connection is unstable. Thank you.
Well, I know we're 2 minutes away from the next match.
All right.
Assuming that Jason's on, but he's watching, so I know he's on.
Yeah.
I know he's around.
I guess.
Iblis, Suttir. Eric, I know you're playing in that one, so you don't get to say squat. But Will, who do you like?
So these are both. So Idiris has been my favorite for a long time. You know, up on the wall. But Suttir is definitely the new hotness for me. So I mean, not to, well, I guess that kind of gives it away, but I mean, doesn't give anything away.
In a couple minutes.
So Suttir is definitely my favorite champion at this time. But apparently,
I don't know if you did see with Idiris being kind of a fan, Damian showing up to Days of Beckoning. He's going to be there. Drawer of many of those OG champions. So we can sign
it's
stuff.
gonna be awesome to see him again. So anyways, good luck, Eric.
Thank you. I'll try to do Suttir proud.
Yeah.
Am I watching from here, or do I have to watch like from the?
I think
you'll gallery?
Unfortunately need to watch from somewhere else. Otherwise, I think my little OBS.
Where is the best spot to watch?
There's YouTube and Twitch.
YouTube and Twitch. All right. I will head out so you guys can set up.
All right. Thank you so much.
Will said nothing, Ben. Ben will not say anything about who he is bringing.
There's still 4 options, Ben. You'll find out Friday night at the Holiday Inn.
That's probably where we're gonna be, where I end up landing. If you guys are gonna be jamming through the evening, just
Friday evening, and then Saturday breakfast right before the big game.
Yeah. So just if you're curious about the venue, there's actually there's an espresso shop and coffee shop right under that also like serves beer and food, which would be really cool. Like we saw more of the venue today.
I know Americans like their beer, but Canadians like their beer too.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean,
coffee.
Well, I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm not gonna open. I'm not gonna open up with I'm not gonna start with beer. That is not how I want to start that day.
Walk over to the Steam Whistle, get a free glass of beer.
Right. Okay. Twist my arm.
And just go back each couple hours, but I forget who you are.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that free beer?
Steam Whistle
Welcome
is
to the
like
party,
right
Eric.
downtown. So it's the opposite direction where you are, but you can pretty much walk to it, and it's usually that you can walk in and get a free sample. It's like a half pint, but
Jeez, that's your samples? Okay.
Half pint is like a decent size.
Yeah.
all right. You
All right,
and
actually.
Jason enjoy your game. I'll watch from the audience.
Yeah.
Bye.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much.
Sharing your
Good game.
thoughts in chat.
All right. See ya.
Cheers.
All right, I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Get this, adjust our bottom here.
I assume blood is Jason.
Yes, blood is Jason.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Welcome to the party, Jason.
Oh, Jason, you're there. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, everyone.
Hello, hello.
How's it
How's
going?
that?
So yeah, give me a
Alright.
Not
couple
too bad.
moments
So
and
as
I'll have the decks up on screen for a little bit of discussion. But yeah.
Yeah. So Shahan's doing all that stuff. Getting everything ready. Misspelling fires.
I mean, I had
Hello,
noticed. I
chat.
just wanted to circle back before someone said anything, but thank you. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah.
My job is QA, so
Circle back, touch on that.
I look at all of that nonsense.
Though you also just taught me that it does update live as I'm making the adjustment. I expected it wouldn't do anything till I hit OK, but
Yeah, that's you put yourself in studio mode if you want to have more control over that. OBS tricks, everybody.
Yeah. We are
we have
the
the technology.
nublets. We are the noobs in this. So Joey gave us a ton of help. Thank you so much.
Yeah, like I said, we're kind of doing a little bit of commentary testing for Days of Beckoning. It's not going to be me. There are others who are going to be doing commentary. So one of the things that I would ask of everybody who's watching, and of course you guys, are what are the things that you kind of like to hear? I'm still learning very much about kind of the game. I tried commentary last week as well, just kind of getting a feel for just chatting about stuff. But if there's stuff you like hearing, stuff you would prefer from your play-by-play or from your color analysis, give us a little feedback so we can really make World Championships kind of awesome. Extra awesome. Extra awesome. They're already going to be awesome. I'm very excited about things that I don't get to tell you. Ha. I was really hoping by then Shahan would have something done.
Wow.
That we can transition into something else.
Oh
but
my
instead
gosh.
it's all
Fired.
silence.
Don't worry. The ragging on me bought us enough time that we can now have the Idiris Fires deck we can talk about.
I'm gonna post the link.
Yep. I mean, by definition, Chrono
I sent
Walker
them the
means
link.
time
Oh,
slow. If you were Chrono Runners, then maybe you would go a little
Oh
faster.
no. Wait, but that means
I mean-
we're allowed to go slow, right? Like that is all that
Depends who's
means?
walking though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who is?
All right. Anyway, all right. So we've got Idiris Fires versus Suttir Dash. I don't quite know what the archetype of Dash is, but I'm sure we're gonna hear about it. So that is the point. So
Yeah.
we've got the Idris up on the screen to begin with a bizarre 0.33, whole bunch of weird aura stuff. This
It's very
this
important
looks like
to know
a-
those extra decimal points. Very important.
Yeah, so it looks like a bunch of very, very big things and a lot of Inferno Ghouls. What is the plan with this deck?
It's Dash, right? So we have Inferno Ghoul and
Or
Guardian
Blitz.
Omasa.
But yes.
Yeah, it's
And
Dash
the-
is coming up. Blitz. This we're here. We're Blitz.
Well, oh wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I was maybe not thinking. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Take it away, Jason. Yeah. This is your baby, I guess.
Oh, you're asking about mine. I'm so sorry. So basically, build the wall of summons, and fireball, meteorite, volley of arrows, malefic impalement from far away, basically.
So you're not looking to use the meteorites in like that 5 damage mode, maybe unless you get behind. You're trying to do like maybe the 3 damage or.
So if I lose the minion war, which is unlikely, but it happens, then yeah, it's to clear the board and reset. It can also just be used for like the 3 damage to one spot and everything around it.
Mhm.
If I don't want to take the 5 myself. And it's also the third option is just an extra 2 damage late game for 10 aura.
Sure.
So it's pretty versatile card. So
Yep, I see a little bit of defense in there between the Otans. Depending on when you need it, Malefic Impalements can be kind of defense or not. It's going to do some damage either way, but being able to shut down an ability on the stack if it hits is kind of nuts. But yeah, seeing the volley of arrows, that lets you attack from a distance, so you staying behind that wall of summons. That seems that, that's kind of what we've always known from Idris splits, if I recall. It's, we've just added new things on top of the fire horses.
Yeah.
So just basically the biggest difference is I cut the Galata baboons completely, and I added a bunch of lava riders because I get a summon, like, although it's not blitz, I now go from action speed to swift speed, so I have an extra move essentially. And not only do I get that extra move, I also have one extra range in my attack. So it works out to be 2 extra spots in my mind. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So it becomes kind of a matter of like, all right, what do you deal with? Do I focus that effort on the lava riders that are going to have just the range and be able to kind of hit from everywhere? Or do I say, screw it, go after Idris? Is that kind of the thought?
Well, and what I was getting at was the best part is, like, Lava Rider kind of synergizes with everything else. So, like, if I hit him with the spider, then Inferno does 3, instead of 2. Brook does 5 instead of 4. Fireball does 3 instead of 2.
Yeah,
and
that's the
Slumrat
one.
and Fire Strike and all that. Yeah.
Yep. So for those of you who are kind of unaware, Lava Rider on hit adds a Firebrand. Firebrand gives fire weakness, which means all fire damage after that is increased by 1.
Yeah.
That's where that comes in.
Yeah. So I mean, like, if you thought Idiris was busted doing 2 damage anywhere in the arena for just an exert and 5 aura, not spending a card, then I mean, wait till you see what Lava Rider and Idiris get up to together. It's a pretty sweet interaction. And then, like, I mean, the most telling thing is, like, despite these sweet interactions with, like, the Inferno Ghoul and the Lava Rider and Idiris, we're still playing Burrux because Burrux is just... wait, no, Burrux is 5 damage. Is fire damage as well, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, never mind.
So
I was like, okay,
5,
so that's that even more fire damage, yeah. So yeah, so much.
All right, well, countering it, let's see what we got for Suttir.
Yeah, so
Yeah, let's see.
Eric, I guess take us away.
All right, so this is a WillK creation, actually, but this is Suttir Dash, named so because we're running a lot of Inferno Crawlers and Darting Almasas, which have the ability Dash, which allows them to get an extra move. And kind of the goal is to get Pseudo Blitz, where you summon these at the end of your turn with reinforcements, and then you just go move all the way across the field, hit them for a bunch of damage. And then, of course, you have some other good summons like Tower Sphinx, stuff like that. And then you can kind of finish up with a Malefic Impalement as well.
Yep. So Suttir's ability, just so again for context for everybody, that reinforcements at the end of the round, I believe you look and may reveal the top card of your timeline. If it's a summon, you can play it. You'll be paying its cost and all of that, but it's a summon that shows up end of round, which means it gets to do crap next turn.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, and like, we were a little bit, I guess, like in Eric, like we were talking in our primer with Suttir, like way back, right when, before Origins has almost even come out. We are a little bit on, like, like, how do we make this work? Because like, you have to warp your deck a lot, right? I mean, I think we're up here at 35 plus.
Summons.
Okay.
Yeah, 34
yeah.
summons.
Oh, there we are. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, 34 summons. So 68% of the deck is summons. Like, that's a lot to warp your deck around to. But we missed on Dash. Like, so Eric and I, like, that's the part we missed. That Dash is the spice that lets Suttir not only deploy these threats, but make these threats get into someone's face immediately.
Yep, Dash allowing you to take an extra move action. In the case of Lava, or in the case of Inferno Crawler, they get to do that twice, if I recall. So
Yep.
You can literally be on one end of the field and hit the other end. For a lot of damage.
And it's a free double trigger for Tower Sphinx. So you go Inferno Crawler, dash on the stack, Tower Sphinx attack for 3, because Tower Sphinx has a modified stack 3. It's another fun interaction that.
I was wondering what the Tower Sphinxes are. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Will actually just mentioned in our YouTube chat that they're actually pushing 35 to 38 summons they're
Good.
testing right now. So just trying to make that reinforcements ability always trigger. Which...
I think that's correct, actually. Yeah. I was a little disappointed when he only had 30 at the start. But yeah, I would say you want to have at least 75%, but right now we're only at 68%.
Yeah. Well, it is. We're gonna see who wins the minion battle.
Yeah,
is basically how this one works.
Yeah,
so
enough talking about it. Let's get into it.
All right.
What you got? So.
All right, let's go. So, all right, Jason, see you in the Chronomarcus Discord.
Forgive me. Did you want to go first or second?
Yep. Let's make sure we can get the stream up really quick.
Yeah, get the link going.
And also, we've got to boot you both from our little Discord or from our little Zoom.
Okay. Pop back over to Fate Waiver. Oh wait, hold up. We don't have the new link yet.
Yep. Make sure we get that link first.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I think Eric has posted it on Discord for us.
How's it going?
Okay, let's.
I do not have it.
All right.
And Jason, you're gonna leave and go to somewhere.
Oh yeah. Can you kick him so we don't? I guess.
You got the game up and everything like that?
Jason, do you know where to go?
Sorry, timeout. I was hearing two things at once. I had to leave.
You kicked him before the timeout.
What's up?
He's got to know where to go.
Eric?
Oh, no, I was actually just asking Shenanigans if for ready to go, but he's muted. Anyway.
Do you have the? Sorry, I'm still trying to find the link to the spectate for.
Okay, I'll post it in Chronowalkers. Hold on.
Oh, thank you.
Oh wait, actually we're gonna.
And does Jason know where he should be? Is he in the chat?
So.
Oh, I think they need to remake it. Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have to remake it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I went here. I went to this one.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with making the spectate mode work on Fate Weaver, before you hit like ready and join the match, you need to left click your champion and select the spectate. Like I will allow people to spectate this match and see my hand.
Yep. So all right. Well.
Okay.
Challenge you again.
We're still working on that part.
So to ensure the spectator goes, click on your portrait, and then check spectator.
Should I leave? I'm in a duel.
Okay,
right
I've been to this one. Are you seeing stuff?
Go on a map.
Maybe refreshing it.
Duel.
I'm not sure.
Ghost.
There you are.
Okay.
See what happens. Yeah, still nothing there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if they're making it or not. I assume that you're in that Discord chat with them, so I'll let you go
I'm hearing
that.
everything. Yeah. Still having a little bit of trouble joining this. It's rare lion insect, right?
No.
Oh
yeah, I'm not seeing anything from that one.
Give you the actual one.
We got a new one.
Fiery spirit. There
Here we go. Here we go. There's a new one.
You gotta.
Selected the.
And type.
So to get into this, just so
spectate
everybody knows,
after
Coliseum
the
of
link.
Fate, if you are in it, if you're playing in Coliseum, you'll notice that, or you
So you
won't
can
notice anything because you can't see
see your
it on the
hands.
screen. But you get GenesisColiseumofFate.com/arena/ kind of your unique name. If you add /spectate to the end of it,
Yes.
it will let you kind of see other games as they're happening. Naturally, if you're logged in, you can't spectate your own game.
Just
and
give me
see
a
everybody
couple
else's.
moments, guys, and I'll give you guys a go ahead to start.
Okay. So do I want to take away you going second?
So yeah, we're getting in. I'm in. I see them. I don't see any draws yet, but
I also think I'm
lots of damage.
That way I can like reveal something.
Lots of chaos,
Alright, I'm gonna
which is
go
always
first.
nice.
I'm just going first. Let's see.
Roger.
Draw 6.
That awesome Felite art. All right. And we've got ourselves some starting hands. Jason starting with a bunch of Lava Riders and Baroque to begin. Eric, surprisingly enough, things like Malicious Persuasion out in... I was expecting a lot more summons in that kind of spread, but, he's got a way to get out of the way. He's got Malicious Persuasion, which is going to be something that forces a movement of a summon in front of you.
All right, guys, go for it.
Which could be his or his opponents. They're all figuring out who's going to go first, I think.
Start by moving here.
Which is going to be Suttir. Suttir moves over to the right and
Inferno
starts
Crawler
up the big stuff.
And then placing it right
All right. So what's Jason thinking? He's got 2 Lava Riders, which are pretty reasonable ways to, I guess, deal with the Inferno Crawler. But how far can Inferno Crawler hit from next turn, right? 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Like, so, yeah, I think, yeah, Jason needs to be like basically in like these squares here. I think is as far as.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd place to put Inferno, especially knowing that you got things like, and maybe it's just keep out of range of the Barooks, I guess.
Yes,
or out of range of Lava Rider.
That's probably, yeah, I think you caught it exactly. That's exactly what Eric is thinking. He knows there's 7 Barooks and wants to make sure he's not putting something where
I will beckon.
The initiative starts a bit worse.
Yep, so in comes 2 Lava Riders from Idiris.
An Inferno Ghoul.
As well as an Inferno Ghoul, just dropping everything down.
Yeah. So I wonder what
And
so keeping that wall with Suttir going to the right, Idiris is piling up on the left, so kind of building that wall of summons like we heard. The benefit to Idiris is that she gets to get some chip shots in either Suttir or some of these summons. I forgot how much the Lava Rider hits for, but I don't think it's 6.
Yeah, I'm actually
wondering. On the
Inferno Crawl. I'm just actually wondering, like thinking about the Burk and how it all goes. If staying in the initial spot might have been a better spot for Suttir, just to be 1 spot closer with that.
Oh, it shows it to you, like it reveals it. That's cool.
Is that another one of those like if Idris, Idris has to move to play the Lava Riders, your Lava Rider would be able to move up.
You might be able to just
and hit Suttir with that.
Put it on the stack, like click
and firebrand him. If he stayed in the original spot, right?
What I can do is I can just.
So at this point, either Idris has to kind of pick a lane, or if she stays where she is, where she does, there's not a there's not a thing that actually reach either of those summons.
Yeah, and click back.
So maybe this is just Suttir knowing that Idris has a lot of summons and has a lot of that kind of rush stuff. Maybe just like play your stuff.
Yeah, sorry, just adjusting some audio stuff over here.
Sorry if we're all talking over each other.
So no, yeah. So they're trying to figure out how to do the reinforcement trigger, because how to do the reveal and all that.
Well, no, it already did, right?
Okay, so I think
it's kind of weird, like do it fairly.
Yeah, but I think there is a way to just look like it was added in. Cool. So we got a dotting La Masa. So Eric choosing to put it in front, which I mean.
Suttir going first on this one. Guys, there's no. I forgot what the Lava Riders do. Lava Riders hit for 3, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, hitting for 3 damage with those Lava Riders. Trying to figure out what exactly. How is Eric planning to deal with this? I mean,
it kind of makes me wonder because we couldn't see it whether or not maybe it was Idris who rolled high and said she's going second. Because I feel like this is just a weird spot for Suttir to be in to go first.
Yeah, yeah, I think I agree. It's like the advantage of Blitz, right? Like, I mean, you are lower in density in Blitz cards for this one, but for this build of Idiris, but still fundamentally, like, I mean, a Baruch, yeah, just like right at the end of the turn, and then getting to Haymake.
Yep, like that this is where that downside of going first kind of comes in pretty hard, because you're always going to have somebody who's exerted, with the opponent having kind of free reign at whatever. So Suttir chooses to take that with as much in hand. I'm kind of surprised, especially that we've got the Inferno Crawler. Maybe he's trying to set up like the Tower Sphinx dash thing going. Like Suttir's very much staying back though, which is interesting.
So I think
even if nothing happens, Idiris just gets to ping everything.
Yeah, I mean, so I think this is Jason would probably read from this play that Eric has malicious persuasion to protect that Inferno Crawler, because like just with the Lava Rider and an Idiris activation, or Lava Rider Inferno Girl, like that Inferno Crawler is just dead from its position. Okay.
So in comes Lava Rider coming after the Inferno Crawler for 3.
So this is basically a declaration that Jason's going to finish it off with a fireball.
Yep. So gets him out of the way. Malicious Persuasion moves Inferno.
Yeah.
Lava Rider will fizzle. That also reduces the brand, which makes Idiris that much less power.
The firebrand was absolutely what Eric wanted to dodge there.
The thing I've liked about Origins is that there's like the elemental stuff, I think has a little bit more clout. It's maybe not so much that it's like truly an archetype, but you see in Idris, Idris Blitz is a great example where the elemental aspect of it is a massive problem.
Yeah, like it's getting all these branders at 6 chi, right? It lets you have them just like a reasonable summon, but in high enough density in your deck that you can reliably get that firebrand off.
And then I move it here and attack for 4.
Darting's gonna go ahead and get 4 in on the Lava Rider.
Yeah, getting those Lava Riders off the field is definitely where we want to hit. And let's see, no way to really finish off that Lava Rider, unfortunately, this turn. Looking at Eric's hand, unless he wants to go Inferno Crawler, but
I mean, this will be that benefit of kind of going first, maybe. You start off with the darting next turn, get the Lava Rider out of the way.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be part of it. Unfortunately, yeah, like Jason understood that getting the brand on the Inferno Crawler was really important. I'm wondering, like, so this is where, like, the bluff, double bluff or stuff is like, was Eric just putting that there because, like, to pretend he had a malicious persuasion? Like, did he actually have it? Because if he didn't have it, that turn was going to be amazing for Jason. Unfortunately, he did have it.
Yep. Down comes the Baruch. I guess I should also note that, the Lamasa can actually, I think they can still die. Between the Lava Rider coming in. No, whatever. I mean, whatever. We've got Baruch, which Baruch can kill.
Yeah, so now Baruch and Idiris is going to be enough to clean up the second Inferno Crawler.
Fireball coming in on what? The Inferno Crawler. So looks like that Baruch's probably just going to take out the rest of the Inferno Crawler with that Blitz, which is just a code for haste.
Yeah, yeah.
Have it stay right here.
The other thing that it does is with Idris going, that forces Inferno, the other Inferno Crawler in the corner to do something and end exerted.
Yeah, I like this because, like, the only other possible line was moving the Inferno Crawler into the Lava Rider that's up front and then finishing off with that. And there's so much more damage on this Inferno Crawler, like just one hit on Idiris, right? Like that's 6 damage.
Yeah, that does a lot. So, Inferno Crawler stays out of the way of everything that Idris has outside of Idris.
Yeah. Also, this means that Inferno Crawler could conceivably. I mean, it's kind of blocked a bit by the Darting Lamasa, but I mean, Inferno Crawler could.
I mean, do you wrap around the Lava Rider and just kind of block it off? Just be kind of a weird threat. Fire for 2, waste one of the big hitters' turn.
Yeah, I think I think Eric is on. I think the Baruch. We're just gonna either deal with the Lamasa or just like go straight for Suttir. And probably this bottom Inferno Crawler is gonna have to go for the other Lava Rider. They're just kind of representing too much versatility from Idiris. Like, Idiris can make just, like, so many different lines while they're there because of that little increment of damage.
Well, the thing to also look at is the fact that, Eric's still got 2 Darting Lamasas and a Tower Sphinx. All Jason has is just that Baruch and then kind of nothing.
Yeah, I think...
Plus, Suttir also has the reinforcements at the end of the round, so...
Yes.
That board swarm is going to be a problem eventually. Even with the board looking at it as at 4-2 summons.
Yeah, I think Eric could have put a little bit more onto the board, like maybe one more Darting Lamasa, but it is tough when there's 2 Lava Riders out to try and figure out where the line is. Definitely want to hit, though. Definitely want to hit with a Suttir, like reinforcement trigger. Like, it feels like this is going to be a critical one to kind of make things back.
And I think
maybe she tries to clean up the board. Inferno Ghoul
I want to
rotates and exerts, kind of protecting right in front of Lava Rider. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically making it so that way, that Crawler can't just go and whip up the Inferno Ghoul for free. Something's going to happen in response. So Suttir gets the reinforcements as the round ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a Tower Sphinx. Okay.
That is gonna be rough.
That was a great hit for Eric. Like, he really needed just to have a little bit more on the board for this turn.
Yep. So as we mentioned, the idea with the Tower Sphinx is that if Inferno Crawler goes, there's 2 dashes on the stack. Tower Sphinx has a modify stack kind of trigger where if its attack is the 3rd one on the stack, it's increased by 1. Basically, the power is increased by 1.
Yeah.
So by just having Inferno Crawler go,
yeah, start Inferno Crawler's turn.
Tower Sphinx is that much more powerful.
Yeah, it gets to get that 3rd point of damage. Unfortunately, yeah, oh, sorry, we have a way to, there we go. Haha. Unfortunately, a 3 damage isn't quite enough to finish off that Baruch. It will be protected, but it is a tricky turn for Eric to feel. Still a little bit on the back foot because of the amount of extra damage that those Lava Riders represent, their range, like just so much stuff to love about that 6 chi spider.
Yep. Darting's gonna start this one off. Dash trigger. Now this is a trigger that can be responded to or no?
Yes, it is.
Movement.
Yeah, dash on summons so far has been all triggers instead of immediates as on champions. And that's
which means there was probably no hope for that Darting to kind of avoid getting hit from the Lava Rider. Instead, Darting's just going to hop into the Baruch, hit him for 4. That'll allow the Tower Sphinx to not even care about the modify stack.
Yeah.
Am I darting on mouse?
And then that feels correct. I like this.
The almost 6 free damage.
Lava Rider will spawn for 3. Get the brand on Lamasa. Won't really matter. Darting to 1. Baruch to 1.
Wait, I got it. Oop. Oh, you removed it. Okay. Never mind.
I'm so sorry. Did you want to respond to that?
No. There's just a button that does 4 damage, so I can just click.
I'm surprised the tower didn't just.
No, I think we're still there. We're
still okay. We're still in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just emptying the stack.
Let the stack resolve, guys.
Because there's the swift step at the end of turn where you can activate things.
There we go. So yep, Tower Sphinx will finish off that Baruch.
Yeah. So
by that guy.
Underneath, when you do a damage, that just does the damage too.
Okay. They're just talking about methods for applying damage.
Yeah. This is happening during our game too. Just click OK until it goes away.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting. If you're Idiris, do you just go Idiris? Like either force Suttir to make a move. Inferno Crawler doesn't really have anywhere to go outside of killing a Lava Rider for 1 woo or taking some damage back from the Inferno Ghoul and risking getting just killed off by the Lava Rider.
Yeah, so I think Idiris right now is thinking about how can I most easily deal with this Inferno Crawler? Like how can I get it off the field? And with 2 Baruchs in hand, there's probably some sort of just movement around that Jason could be considering. Well, actually, you don't even need 2 Baruchs, right? We just need 1 because of the earlier damage from last turn from Idiris.
He just coming up 1.
Yeah, that won't quite. Yeah.
Maybe looking to bring in the Baruch, kill off the Tower Sphinx.
Yeah, I guess going for the Tower Sphinx.
I mean, you could always Idris. Well, I mean, if you bring in the Baruch to kill the Tower Sphinx and then kill off the Darting with the 1, with like your Idris Fireball, Baruch on the stack. Or hilariously, do you Fireball the Crawler and basically give it nowhere to go and nothing to do?
I think that might be part of it. Because it just kind of makes, then you can just send in your Inferno Girl as just like a legitimate threat. And if you can get it to the right position, which you're going to have perfect information for, those dashes
exactly
become a little bit of a liability, right?
Yeah, that Inferno Crawler has absolutely nothing to do. That was the benefit of turning Inferno Ghoul last turn, so that way if he tries to off him, Inferno Ghoul just hits in response, hits for 2, kills the Crawler.
Yeah.
So setting up in advance to protect those summons.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I take that move back?
Oh. Gentleman's game, just gonna take what's it called? Undo that little movement. Nothing's being played.
Okay, so Suttir stays where they're at and drops in a Darting Lamasa.
Yeah. Interesting way to see where Eric puts this. Okay, so not a sacrificial Lamasa, putting it in a bit of a protected position.
Tower Sphinx coming in.
Yeah. And yeah, another Tower Sphinx coming in. that's 6 damage, right? In those 2 spots, if anything's there, and we go for the Inferno Crawler play.
Yep. I mean, Baruch still gets to go, so it's...
Yes.
I guess it's a matter of, like, do you... See, it's weird. If I were to do this, I would honestly off the Lava Rider. You know, like, I'd Baruch and then off my own Lava Rider with the Lava Rider and have the Inferno go kill off the Lamasa.
Huh,
but that's probably that's a probably a weird way to go.
Yeah, I think you want to. I think the Inferno Crawler, or rather, sorry, the Lava Riders are representing so much pressure. And like Eric did put more stuff on the board. Like they both have 3 cards in hand. They both have similar aura. A lot more energy, I guess, for Jason. But I mean, Eric doesn't play a lot of energy cards, right? We're up at 35% almost, or not 35%, 68% of our deck being.
Inferno Crawler is going to give that Inferno Ghoul like some clout here.
Yeah, so there you go. Didn't even need to kill off our own Inferno Ghoul, I guess was the answer. Or not Inferno Ghoul, I love it. Our own Lava Crawl to let the Brook in. Because Eric did it for him. But I think it's maybe just...
I'm also weird in how I play, so...
It's seeing the writing on the wall, right? That Inferno Crawler was, like, basically dead. So let's just... this is a much more reasonable board to try and deal with for Eric.
You ever thought those 3 cheese are worthless? There you go.
No, in this deck, this 3 chi does a lot of work.
So Baruch gets an opportunity. Do you just knock off a Tower Sphinx?
I feel...
Yeah,
I think... So if you knock off Tower Sphinx, you can kind of just tank a Lamasa. So that
Lamasa will be able to turn and counter the Baruch. Like killing off, like darting Lamasa doesn't really have anything to go after in front. Okay. Yeah, this is why I'm not there, because I might have gone after Sphinx, but
I think I would have as well. I mean, these are great players, and I'm sure there's definitely stuff being thought about here. But yeah, I think I would have been there with you going for the Sphinx, just because that Lamasa was super dead.
End of round. This is another situation where like the Lamasa to the right of Suttir has kind of nothing to do with their turn. Everything's going to hit him back.
Okay, and we've got a Tower Sphinx in front of us.
Tower Sphinx in front.
Yeah.
All right, next round.
Don't you wish you had that Inferno Crawler now?
Okay, so we got another Inferno Gruel for Jason as a draw, and a Tower Sphinx for Eric as a draw for the turn.
With 10 Tower Sphinx in the deck, you can expect to see a heck of a lot of them.
Yeah, and that is that like 3 hits so far for Eric, right? This game, or is it 4?
I think that's 3 hits.
Is it 3? Okay.
Yep. So there's 4 and 5 in his hands.
Yeah. Oh, what was that there?
Lamassa's just gonna go after the Inferno Ghoul. Let's just deal with it.
Oh, I think he accidentally rotated and rotated back. It is supposed to be targeting the break.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this makes sense.
And exert.
Yeah, exert.
Yep.
The
Tower Sphinx finished off the Baruch.
Cool, and then Inferno Ghoul also activating on Daniel Musta's turn just to get 2 more damage. I guess this means maybe that Jason wants to go for Idiris' activation right now.
Your turn.
Yeah, I mean, Lava Rider comes in to pop the tower. Well,
yeah.
If you do that, you kind of open up the door for that Lava Rider to die, and that's kind of the only thing that's threatening on the board right now.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, like, do you keep him hung back? Do you move him? I don't even know.
I think knowing how Suttir decks work, right, which the higher density of summons, I think you can pretty reasonably push that RNG a bit and go for the line where you do move up that Lava Rider. Of course, we have perfect information, so we know that Eric only has, like, 2 Tower Sphinxes and a Darting Lamasa and Oten, so there's no, like, what was it, the line of sight Malefic Impalement, is that? Yes, I think that's it. Yeah, so there's no Malefic Impalement waiting to just punish the Lava Rider.
Yeah. The other thing to appreciate with all of this is that despite having as much action as we've had and all of the summons, all the summons beating the crap out of each other, nobody's actually changed life totals. Eric is down to 36 aura, as is Idiris. So like they're running out of resources pretty quick here as far as the summons. So like if you're Suttir, this is also kind of what you have. That's probably why we haven't seen too many plays. He's probably maybe looking for more of those Inferno Crawler, like get the big things that are hard to kill. The Sphinxes are not going to win you this game.
Yeah, not with Idiris basically being able to trade at half rate for this Tower Sphinx, right? Like 5 energy to just knock off a Tower Sphinx, where Eric is paying 10.
Yep.
This does kind of lean into the development of the board that Eric has been doing, because like getting multiple, like how do you break that if each round, like there's a better resource exchange for Idiris to do is to get more things out there, right? And so that you're not playing one a turn.
Idiris bringing in another Baruch, so down to 21, burning a fireball. So I think that I forgot how much Baruchs are cost-wise.
They are.
But 16 is also perfect.
15. Yeah.
15. So there's just enough for Baruch. 16 is also perfect for another Lava Rider.
Okay, they're having a little bit of a little bug popping up, but I mean, we aren't seeing it. I think it's only Eric has to deal with that.
Something is indeed fishy. Suttir swings around, kind of making a move in now at this point.
Yeah. So will Eric's luck continue with another solid hit? I guess we've got a couple more turns to go through before we'll see that. But yeah, Lava Rider here and Baruch looking in a pretty good spot to just kind of clear this board up a bit more.
Yeah, the thing about reinforcements is that there's no requirement to show that, so it's not like you flip it over and if it's a summon you have to play it. You get to choose, you get to look at it. So if it's a summon and you don't want to play it, that's your draw, buddy.
Yeah. Well, the little funny thing is like it says if you reveal it and it's a summon, then you have to play the beckon ability, which gets a little awkward if you reveal it and like you're out of aura or like out of life for a pain imp. Well, not out of life for a pain imp, but for like a blood rakshasa or say. So there's a little bit of hilarity in that. Because
you get to look first.
Just don't reveal it if you can't pay for it. It's just like what the judge would like.
That's a pro rule. That's a judge's tip, guys.
Don't reveal it because it's I guess a little bit of a failure to maintain game actions or something.
Yes. Failure to maintain board states.
You've revealed something that you cannot pay for, and the revealing requires payment. Okay, so yeah, jockeying for position here, but everything is exerted.
Yep.
Interesting that Jason just staying on the conservative line here. I mean, he has a better board, not poking forward with a Lava Rider to try and clear out a Tower Sphinx.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering I wonder if you do anything with Baruch, but Baruch's gonna pop in, give himself options. No matter what, one Tower Sphinx is gonna be able to come in and hit him. Yes. You might as well get Baruch in a place where he can swing something back.
Yeah, so everything's out of range of everything, minus Idiris, of course. And what is did we get hit?
I do laugh if this is very well a game that can come down to these Inferno rules. Yeah. These things are suddenly so powerful. Being able to knock out Inferno.
Oh my gosh, another hit for Eric. And yeah, he got an Inferno Ghoul. Speaking of Inferno Ghoul. Okay.
Inferno Caller drawn in hand. What did he? So he flipped over an Inferno.
Oh, I got it. And that now. Oh no, wait. I was looking at Jason's aura. So yeah, Eric has the aura to play that Inferno Crawler. So
that is a good one to have. Remember, you've got that thing needs to survive is the problem, because if it doesn't, you're kind of in trouble. You've got 25. You still have 25 damage to get through Idiris on.
Yeah, pain it for Idiris. So, we'll see.
Yep. So 1 life for a little heavy swinger for 2, if I remember right, or do a cast for 1 as a swift.
Yeah. Yes. Swift cast for 1 fire damage or action heavy fire attack 2. But critically only costs life, and when Jason's on 16 aura, right, hitting a summon that only costs life is exactly what we want.
Yeah, having 1 life at this point.
Whatever. Right? No, this is very much the summons are jockeying for position, and then we're gonna see I mean, who can draw the most, I guess, knockbacks for Idiris? Or, I mean, Eric wants those Malefic Impalement. So Inferno Crawler... Yeah. I like this. It's basically, it's putting it in the way, or saying, okay, let your Brook take 2, right? Like, just like, it'd be interesting to see if Jason decides to exert in response.
I mean, I feel like the point of this is either you waste the Baruch's turn. Okay, yep.
Yeah. Because that's the biggest threat on the board, right? To these Tower Sphinx, minus, I mean, Idiris being Idiris. All right, your turn. Like it would have been reasonable to just take it and try and figure out a way to then just clear the way for that lava right at the back to get in, because that's the unfortunate bit here, is that the Inferno Girl and the Brook are kind of boxing that lava rider and making it almost a non-issue for Eric this particular round. He can kind of ignore it. And then the Tower Sphinx are poised to take out those 2 Inferno Ghouls if it weren't for Idiris Fireball.
Interesting choice to Fireball. That basically, I mean, I think at this point, Idiris is just kind of forced. Pain Imp City. It is the pain train.
Yeah, though electing not to play it yet. Which, because like you're getting rid of the Tower Sphinx, but yeah, that kind of forced that line. The Inferno Girl attack forced Idiris to try and or have to take the turn immediately to get rid of the Tower Sphinx. Otherwise, both Inferno Ghouls are gone, and then probably, I mean, after your opponent is hit four turns running, I guess you just put him on hitting next turn as well, I guess.
Yeah. Lava Rider knocks out the Sphinx. Yep. This is not a good place for Suttir to be in. Even with the Inferno Crawler, it's going to come and exert it. And you've got 2 things that can kill it. Plus Idiris, who has already shown that she is fine with the fireballs. 2 more and you could just... Yeah. So Suttir losing the minion battle.
Yeah, which, I mean, this is a minion battle. That is what this game is, right? So Eric carefully counting, I guess, the aura remaining. Unfortunately, not
Inferno Crawler is going to burn up 22, so that basically rules out everything else. Your options with 30 are...
It's unfortunate. 31 aura, and then we got an Inferno Crawler and a Tower Sphinx.
Yep, that 30 is not going to be enough. So it's either do you want the darting and the tower, which are like both kind of in trouble because the Lava Rider's range, or you just get the Inferno Crawler, maybe keep it back, leverage that dash. The problem is that you're going first as Suttir. You also are losing that board state. You know, Idiris can just have the Inferno Ghoul go, and then force Suttir and the Inferno Crawler to exert.
Yeah, if you summon that Inferno Crawler, no matter whether you go for the Lava Rider or the Baruch, the Inferno Crawler is going to be gone. Okay.
Inferno Crawler in?
Yeah. Okay, Inferno Crawler coming in. Suttir coming in, rather, to hit the Inferno Crawler.
Option for an air attack. What do you kind of hope, like...
I think it's kind of like Eric can kind of see the writing on the wall. Like, this is... Idiris has managed to kind of clean up and have the better board position. He's got, like, 2 plays left, but at max.
Yeah.
But needs to basically... Can't win by holding back because the board position's too good. So...
Perhaps the other option is...
There it is. No, Malicious Persuasion, not Malefic Impalement. Sorry. Okay, I was going to say that was almost...
that would have been... like, the other thing to consider is that if you're Suttir, if you can somehow get this Lava Rider and Baruch out, Idiris is in a lot of trouble. Idiris is basically done.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we just don't have the resources. We needed an Impalement, I think. I think Eric is...
Yeah, Impalement would have done some serious work.
Probably considering, I think, to concede right here, because just not having the resources left to deal with this board. Okay.
No, we fight on.
No, he's fighting on. This is, yeah, hearing a little bit of their chatter.
Starting Lamasa.
Yeah, Eric was definitely hoping to kind of push or put something in a better spot to kind of break up the formation, which was why he moved up, but didn't quite get there. Okay.
In response to the darting, Lava Rider is going to try to fire off. Suttir finally using some of that